Yo, what's going on, guys? Noodle Nation, it's your boy back with another video, and this time I'm going to give you an updated walkthrough on the Mythic Firefight. I played Mythic Firefight twice. I played 2 rounds this weekend on stream. Hopefully you guys saw the video. I believe by the time this is published, it'll be a video or two before this one. It was my first try, and I just pulled a few viewers together, and we hopped right into it. Really wasn't that bad. Really quite fun. So I'll probably do that again. Usually I only play it with like sweats and shit, but I actually had a lot of fun with you guys. You guys pulled out some REQS, so shout out to everybody. I'm sure you'll see all the gamer tags in the video. Shout out to them. Wonderful games. GG's. But in this video, I'm going to give you an updated look into Warzone Firefight because a lot has changed since my last walkthrough. And I'm going to give you new tips. This is updated. You may as well scrap the old one because the whole ball game's changed with the Warzone Firefight that they've introduced. First, getting right into it, would I grind this playlist over the weekend? The answer to that is no. Because it does take longer to complete these. And if you're grinding for rack points and experience, I really would just stick to heroic, honestly, even if with the quote XP boost. I say quote because I didn't really notice too much for the amount of time we spent in game. Was it more? Yeah. Was it worth it? No. But it is definitely worth beating once or twice over the weekend just to say you did it. And with that, let's jump right into it. First things first, you guys may notice we are not going for bosses quite yet in this gameplay. That is because on the first round, or in any round for that matter, where you have bosses, at least for the first 2 or 3 rounds, you want to try to hold off on clearing out all the bosses and ending the round. And here's why. You want to build up your REQS as high as you can get them. Usually, I think I was able to achieve REQ level 3 by the end of the first round, which is really good. First round is a great round to get your REQS up because there are no skulls activated that at least I believe there are no skulls activated. And you should be able to play through this no problem. The next bit of advice I can give you is once you clear out the bosses for the first round, and again, only clear out bosses once you have no more AI surrounding them or you are forced to kill bosses just because you guys are dying too much or you're cutting low on time. Usually you want to kill bosses and start focusing on them at the 2-minute mark to 1-minute mark. If you have 2 bosses, make sure you clear them out. Alright, you can clear one out, just make sure you don't kill the other. It makes it easier as you go on. The second bit of advice I can give you guys, and this is really helpful. I wasn't really expecting this. In the last update, 343 Industries implemented different REQ costs. Different REQ costs for the armor mods that you get in the game. So, the armor mod I would recommend, if you have 3 racks, get Patrol Case. Patrol Case gives you extra ammo off the start, and your loadout weapons gives you a whole bunch of extra ammo to use. Really useful with the battle rifles. In Firefight, battle rifle is really key. It's a key weapon. It's a really powerful weapon, especially against the smaller AI, and you can just dominate with it. And the battle rifle you can run out of ammo really fast with the battle rifle. With this armor mod, it's like twice as much ammo or whatever. It's really useful. And I would actually use Patrol Case until you unlock Wheelman, which we will get to later. Because any level 4 or 5 armor mods really are not worth it in my opinion. I would stick with Patrol Case the whole way through. As you could see, we cleared out the Phaeton. Actually, we ended up destroying the Phaeton, and here's just a fun little side tip for you guys. The Phaeton, if you EMP it and flip it over, you can actually get the pilot of the Phaeton to leave the Phaeton, which is really what you want to do in any firefight, really, especially legendaries, on any map for that matter. Legendaries can be really annoying in Phaetons. It can be really overpowered on a lot of different levels. The easiest way to take care of them is just to pull out a Void's Tear or a regular plasma pistol if you want, but I really like Void's Tears for this. Pull out a Void's Tear, EMP it a few times, try to get it to flip over, and if you can get it to flip over, the driver, the pilot, will jump out, and they're just really easy to kill. A few headshots and they're dead. Round over. Vehicles are really key after a certain point. For the first 2 or 3 rounds, you might want to stick with weapons because you want to try to build up your REQS a little bit. Enclosed vehicles are really key. So right now, I believe we have a few teammates plasma pistoling these guys, which is really good. They're going to try it. And the Phaeton trick that I mentioned, where you can flip them over, works with ghosts as well. Wraiths, technically you can do it with. Not really the most efficient tactic in the world, but hey, you do you. Go for it if you wish. The ghosts are a lot easier to do that with. And as you guys can see, we're going to be able to take these guys down really quick. The next step after this round, I'm going to foreshadow a little bit. Oh, let's jump into the what weapon perks do you want? I'm not talking about armor mods. What weapon perks? As you guys can see, I have an extended mag not DMR battle rifle. And really, you want to get that as quick as you can. It costs 4 REQS, and especially with the patrol case, you get so much ammo. It's just so much ammo if you have the extended mag and the patrol case together. Extended mag's really the only thing I would recommend for the BR, and SMG or any weapon for that matter in this, because you have so much ammo that you can work with. For a Mythic Firefight, usually I would recommend you use vehicles. Your first vehicle should probably be a ghost or something you can splatter stuff with. In Mythic Firefight, I would be a little wary on that because the ghost makes you vulnerable. And the thing that one of the buffs in Mythic Firefight is enemy damage and accuracy. And it's that damage and accuracy can really get to you, especially with these hunters here. They're just able to track you like crazy with those tracking rounds. Like, see there, they tracked me. It's nuts. And they can just pick you out of ghosts so fast. So I would just keep your distance. For any, you really want to focus up on just any boss you can get to. And in this case, try to leave the big guys alone for as long as you can and build up your REQS with the small guys like these elites, grunts, crawlers, soldiers, whatever. I believe, is that it? I'm doing this off the top of my head too, so I'm coming up with these little tidbits of information as I go. Another really useful weapon right now, and I was really shocked when 343 did this. They lowered the Spartan laser to 4 REQS. They lowered it to a cost of 4 REQS from 5, and I was really surprised. I didn't exactly know why they did this. Maybe to counter wasps in battle, make it a little easier to take down a wasp, but really, I personally don't use normal lasers except for firefight, because they're cheap and they're just really easy to use in firefight. They're really easy to use to take down bosses, especially vehicles. Hunters like this I wouldn't recommend, but I saw my teammates had a good hold on the raid, so I decided to go for these guys, try to pick up a few extra REQS. But at a cost of 4 REQS, the Spartan laser is a bargain. Keep all your lasers. They're totally awesome, great for clearing out rounds. Another just overall strat, and this applies to every single round you're going to play in Firefight. Keep your distance. Do not go for close encounters with enemies. And like heroic firefighter, maybe even legendary, you can run up to an enemy and try to splatter him as fast as you can, and get the round over as quick as possible. Because hey, it's super easy. It is probably the easiest thing in Halo in this game, to be honest. The heroic firefight they have in play. That is not the case in Mythic. Heroic Firefight promotes aggressiveness, and that's pretty much it. Just trying to get the rounds over as soon as possible. And Mythic Firefight, it is all about patience. Be as patient as you can. Usually, if you add a few ghosts, you can go for these wardens and get them down. Even if I believe I have 6 REQS right now. Yeah, I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could spawn even a Wraith and just take these guys out really fast. The problem is they're not very maneuverable, and Wardens have really high accuracy and bonus damage. I believe Warden can take you down in 3 hits from its little beam thing. It's really OP. As you guys can see, I just spawned a Banshee, and this Banshee is probably your best bet. You can spawn a Wasp if you wish. I wouldn't spawn a Wasp though, unless you don't have enough REQS for a Banshee. Banshees are really useful. They do not do as much damage as necessarily the tank or a Wraith would, but the thing that's really helpful in this game type at this level of difficulty in Firefight is they're very maneuverable. You can shoot from a distance, and you can avoid close encounters, which you do not want to lose this Banshee. I think I end up keeping this Banshee too. As long as you have enough firepower on these Wardens, or on any boss for that matter, you should be able to take them down. Not as fast as you would in Heroic Firefight, aside from the difficulty, because you can't get as close with as big of weapons, or vehicles, excuse me, but you should be able to take them down in a timely fashion. And I believe, yeah, this guy's going to go down really quick. I would also recommend focusing on one boss at a time. Clear them out as you go. And in Mythic, usually you can ignore AI and Heroic, but in Mythic you really want to try to clear out the AI as fast as you can. Banshees are really nice because they can splatter AI, whereas if you shoot AI in this game type, you don't necessarily do as much damage. And that brings us to the last round. At 6 REQS, the best thing you can spawn as an armor mod, switch off from your patrol case, and 2 wheelmen to give your vehicles extra power. As you guys can see, I spawn, I believe, I'm going to give away my Banshee in a minute. I believe. I'm not quite sure. This might be a different match. But I believe I give away my Banshee, or I gave away my Banshee, I should say. And I end up waiting for a Hannibal Scorpion. The thing you guys can't see or hear right now is I also have a teammate spawning a Hannibal Scorpion, which makes like these really easy to handle. Hannibal Scorpions are so good against bosses. Surprisingly, they are not good against soldiers. I do not know why. Soldiers will completely absorb an entire beam from a Hannibal. I don't understand why. It's absurd. It has something to do with the buff they implemented that adversely affected how it affects AI. However, for bosses, it can absolutely demolish bosses. I will say, since we have 2 Hannibals, we found out in a very interesting way. I actually don't think I even got to touch those bosses over there. At the end, we had a Hannibal and a few tanks on them. You really only need 1 Hannibal, and even then, you don't need a Hannibal necessarily. If you get a whole squad to spawn vehicles, and I say vehicles, not all Scorpions. I'll tell you guys why in a minute. But don't spawn all vehicles, or all Scorpions, because you'll end up like gangbanging an entrance and you won't be able to go through. I would recommend spawning like 3 or 4 scorpions max, and then going with a few banshees to pick off the knights from the air. But a Hannibal is definitely nice, although not needed, makes the game a little just that much easier. I believe with that, we are closing out this game. As you guys can see, I'm trying to keep a distance, and I believe it's coming up to where I try to shoot a soldier, and it completely absorbs my shot. I killed a crawler there. Crawlers, of course, die. Watch this. Boom. Full shot right into that soldier, and he didn't die. I don't understand why. It's just a thing. I don't quite understand. But those are the basics of it. Is there anything else I can tell you guys? Just make sure to diversify your vehicles. Again, don't get all wraiths or scorpions or ground vehicles, because you'll cluster up an entrance and you won't all be able to go through an entrance. You'll just dogpile and you won't all be able to get shots on a boss. And I can't get up there. But aside from that, if you guys diversify, and as long as you guys are able to spawn your REQS, you should be good. Also, wouldn't recommend going in this alone. Have a team of 7 or 8, and you guys should be set. Just spawn REQS, and you guys should be good to go. But with that, I believe the match is almost done. I'm going to get out of your hair. Hopefully, this video helps you guys out a little bit, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.